Have you ever had someone come into your life who was genuinely good for you? Someone who treated you with kindness, patience, consistency, and sincerity. Someone who showed up. Someone who cared. And instead of getting closer, you felt yourself backing away. You became distant without meaning to. You overthought everything. You doubted their intentions. You felt uncomfortable with how healthy it all seemed. Maybe you even sabotaged it before it had a chance to grow. If you have ever pushed away someone who was good for you, here is the secret truth. You did not do it because something is wrong with you. You did not do it because you enjoy chaos or want to ruin something meaningful. You did it because your brain learned at some point in your life that closeness is dangerous. Your body learned that love comes with pain. Your nervous system learned that opening up leads to loss. That is not weakness. That is survival. Today, I want to take you deep into the science and psychology behind why people push good people away. Not the surface level explanation. Not the easy answers, but the real reasons that live beneath your skin, inside your memories, and inside the habits you never meant to learn. And by the time you reach the end of this, you will not only understand yourself on a deeper level, you will understand your heart in a way that starts to heal it. Let's begin by defining what it means to push people away. It does not always look like running. It does not always look like shutting someone out. Sometimes it looks like becoming suddenly busy. Sometimes it looks like pulling back emotionally. Sometimes it looks like being colder than you intended. Sometimes it looks like losing interest, even though a part of you knows you are interested. Sometimes it looks like picking fights. Sometimes it looks like convincing yourself the other person has a flaw that you cannot accept. Pushing people away is usually not intentional. For most people, it is automatic. It kicks in the moment someone gets close enough to touch a part of you that you have kept hidden for years. It happens when the relationship is safe enough that your defenses feel unnecessary. And when your defenses come down, your old fears come up. Those fears control your behavior more than your conscious choices do. So where do these fears come from? For many people, the origin goes all the way back to childhood. The experiences you had growing up created a blueprint for how you expect love to feel. If love was inconsistent, your brain learned to expect instability. If love was loud or chaotic, your brain learned to fear emotional closeness. If love was conditional, your brain learned to protect itself at all times. And if you grew up without emotional safety, then safety itself can feel like a trap. Imagine a child who learned that affection comes only after they behave perfectly, or a child who learned that attention can disappear without warning, or a child who learned that vulnerability leads to shame. These lessons do not stay in childhood. They follow you into adulthood. They shape the relationships you choose and the ones you avoid. They influence who you trust and who you fear. They even determine which people feel familiar to you and which people feel strange. This is why someone healthy can feel uncomfortable. They do not match your emotional blueprint. They do not fit the pattern. Your mind says, this is good, but your body says, something is wrong. Not because something is actually wrong with them, but because your nervous system does not recognize safety as something normal. So you push them away. Not because they are bad for you, but because they are too good in a way that feels unfamiliar. Attachment styles explain this pattern with incredible accuracy. People with avoidant attachment push people away when closeness triggers a sense of overwhelm. They feel suffocated when someone gets too close emotionally. Their brain is wired to protect distance, because distance feels like control. They associate intimacy with losing themselves. So the moment someone healthy starts caring, the avoidant person begins to pull back. Not because they do not care, but because they care in a way that scares them. People with anxious attachment push people away too, but for different reasons. They fear being abandoned or hurt. They fear not being enough. They fear disappointing someone good. So when a healthy person enters their life, they might feel exposed. They worry they cannot live up to expectations. They worry the person will eventually leave. And instead of waiting for that pain, they create distance as a way of protecting themselves first. Fear of intimacy comes in many forms. Some fear being engulfed. Some fear being rejected. Some fear losing independence. Some fear real connection, because it means letting someone see their wounds. But in every case, pushing away is not a lack of desire. It is a fear response. Trauma plays an even deeper role in this. Emotional pain gets stored in the body. It becomes a memory that does not require a conscious thought. When someone gets too close, the body reacts before the mind understands what is happening. Your heart speeds up. Your shoulders tense. You feel restless or anxious. You sense danger even when nothing dangerous is happening. Your body is trying to protect you from the hurt you once felt. Imagine someone who was deeply betrayed or abandoned in the past. Their body remembers the feeling more vividly than their mind does. When someone new comes into their life with genuine kindness, the body fears a repeat of the loss. So it creates Distance. It pushes away to avoid future heartbreak, even if the present moment is safe. The biggest factor in pushing good people away is something very few people talk about: a sense of unworthiness. When you struggle with self-worth, kindness feels suspicious. Love feels confusing. Support feels overwhelming. A good person sees the best in you, but you might not believe that best version exists, so you reject it. You question their motives. You feel uncomfortable receiving what you have never received before, and you push them away before they see what you believe are your flaws. Many people push good people away because they do not feel deserving of what is being offered. The love feels too pure. The affection feels too sincere. The stability feels too real. And because it feels too good, it also feels temporary. The fear becomes, what if I let this in and then lose it? That fear alone is enough to make someone pull back. Another powerful force behind pushing people away is the familiar comfort of pain. It may sound strange, but the brain often prefers familiar suffering over unfamiliar safety. Toxic relationships feel normal to someone who grew up with chaos. Emotional inconsistency feels familiar to someone who grew up with instability. And a healthy, stable, kind person feels foreign. The brain does not trust what it does not know. So when someone good enters your life, you may subconsciously feel unsafe because your brain cannot predict the outcome. Predictable pain feels easier than unpredictable love. Another reason people push away good people is the fear of being seen. When someone emotionally healthy gets close, they do not just see the version of you that you show the world. They begin to see the real one. The one with scars, the one with doubts, the one with childhood wounds, the one with insecurities. And for many people, being seen that deeply feels terrifying, so they push away to avoid exposure. Some people push others away because love requires surrender. It requires trust. It requires accepting uncertainty. It requires taking emotional risks. For someone who values control above everything else, that surrender feels dangerous. Losing control of your emotions feels threatening. So you retreat into independence, even if a part of you longs for connection. Let's talk about emotional sabotage. When someone pushes good people away, the sabotage is rarely intentional. It happens through small patterns. Picking fights over nothing. Suddenly becoming distant. Focusing on minor flaws. Losing interest when things become stable. Hyper-independence that becomes a shield. Choosing unavailable people because they feel safe. Ending things early because it is easier than dealing with vulnerability. These patterns are not destructive by nature. They are protective. They exist to prevent pain. But in the process of preventing pain, they also prevent love. Next, let's talk about what good people trigger inside you. A good person offers kindness. That kindness triggers the part of you that once felt neglected. A good person offers consistency. That consistency triggers the part of you that once lived with unpredictability. A good person offers acceptance. That acceptance triggers the part of you that once felt unworthy. A good person offers stability. That stability triggers the part of you that is used to chaos. The truth is, good people trigger unhealed wounds. Not because they do anything wrong, but because being treated well forces you to confront parts of yourself that you have buried. So, how do you break the pattern? The first step is awareness. You cannot change what you cannot see. Notice when you begin to retreat. Notice when you suddenly feel anxious or restless. Notice when you begin to invent reasons to pull back. Notice the resistance that appears when love feels too real. The second step is understanding your body. Your nervous system is reacting to old danger, not new danger. Learn to sit with discomfort. Learn to breathe through the panic. Learn to let your body slowly relearn safety. The third step is slow exposure. Healthy love may feel intense at first, but you can ease into it. You do not need to dive in. You do not need to rush. You can take small steps toward intimacy while keeping your autonomy. The fourth step is inner child healing. You must meet the part of you that first learned to fear closeness. You must understand its pain. You must give it the safety it never had, because when the inner child feels safe, the adult stops pushing love away. The final step is reframing closeness. Love is not danger. Love is not a trap. Love is not a repeat of past trauma. Love is an opportunity to rewrite your story. And here is the final truth. Pushing good people away is not a personality flaw. It is a survival strategy you learned long ago. And anything learned can be unlearned. Anything repeated can be rewritten. You can change your patterns. You can outgrow your fears. You can let good people stay. You can allow the love you once believed you did not deserve. You are not broken for pushing people away. You are protecting yourself. But protection is not the same as healing. At some point, you must choose to let yourself be loved.